and thanks to Giraffe Tools for making this video possible. Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Alright, so here we've got my project as a 1978 JEEP Grand Wagoneer. I got this in a trade a couple of years ago. It hasn't been driven in about 10 years. It was a single owner vehicle. The motor blew and about 10 years ago they parked it and haven't driven it since. The nephew of the lady who owned the vehicle replaced the engine with a new used engine, but he couldn't get it running. I'm just going to get this pulled out into the sun here where I can see everything well. It's been parked at my place for 3 years. But I'm officially starting this project, so first things first, we got to get it cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and pull this truck around. Just get that out of the road since the Jeep's taking up the driveway. There we go, chalking the wheels on that Jeep. It does have a parking brake which works, but the other brakes don't work. So here's this Giraffe's tool pressure washer. Perfect timing for a collaboration since I need to get this Jeep all cleaned up. And this project's getting started. For being a 40-year-old Jeep, it's in pretty awesome shape, especially the interior, but again, just sitting 10 years without being driven. Luckily, this pressure washer has this soap attachment here, so I don't have to scrub it down by hand. Whenever I'm done with the project, or later on, I'm going to do a full detail cleaning, but this is just to get all this dirt and dust off here from being sitting around for years. So super nice to change out the tips on this pressure washer. All you have to do is just release that quick connect collar and switch out any of the tips. So here's a look at the interior. All the leather's in perfect condition. There's no cracks in the leather. There's not even tears in the headliner. It is sagging down, but the inside is just in amazing shape. That's what I like most about it. You can see on the outside those decals were previously attempted to remove. It wasn't me, but I'm gonna have to do something about that. So this pressure washer is actually really nice. You can pull out the hose. It's up to 100 feet long, and it'll lock out at whatever distance you need it to, and then you just give it a little pull and it'll wind it all back up. And what's awesome about this system is the fact that you don't have to bring it all the way back in to lock it out at a different length. So if you're at 50 feet and you want to go down to 25, with the other automatic winders I've used, you had to let it go all the way back in, kind of like a seatbelt, before you could pull it all the way back out. But this mechanism will let you lock it out at whatever distance you like. It's actually pretty quiet. It's got a ton of power for its size. 2200 PSI, that'll clean out just about anything. Here I've got that wand with the soap attachment on it. We're just going to soap down the Jeep and let that soak in for a bit. These tires had a bunch of mud in them and were pretty flat, so I'm going to let that soap soak in the tires for quite a bit. Nice little holder there to put that bottle back. And here on the handle, when you're switching out the tips, you can actually lock the handle out so you don't have to be worried about accidentally turning it on. It comes with 4 different tips here. I'm using the wide open one. This is the strongest one, just so I can stand at a distance and kind of blow off any of that dust I can see immediately, and then we'll go ahead and give it a rinse off with the other tips. So here I'm soaping up that other side. Just getting it all clean so I can start working on it and not get dirty, and I can have it sitting out looking nice. Here I've swapped a tip onto that, and you can see it's a little bit more gentle, so I'm using that water to wash off all the soap. And to get underneath those rails on the top of the roof, I don't want to spray off any sort of sealant or anything that's on those, but I do want to get the dirt out from underneath there. I actually ended up using the pressure washer for several hours the next day to pressure wash the sidewalks, and this wand was way easier to use and handle than any other pressure washer I've ever used. Installing it was also super easy. There was a bracket and it has 4 holes in there, so all I had to do was attach 4 anchors into the wall near my water outlet, and the pressure washer just slides right down on that bracket, and when you're done, it just picks straight back up off of it. You could hear there it turns off by itself whenever you let go of the handle, and it kicks back on when you need water pressure. I use the different tips to clean up the dust and dirt. These wider tips will blow that dirt off without messing anything up, so I can get real close and make sure it's nice and clean. So here, as I get that finished cleaning up, my plan is to use this pressure washer for other projects as well whenever I have to clean up dirty tools and parts. A lot of times my tools get really greasy and there's not a really easy way to handle that, so I'm going to use this pressure washer to clean those off as well, and then make sure they're dried and lubricated. I can do that occasionally to make sure my tools stay in great shape. I can also use this to clean my other cars and even the big UPS truck. I have several customers right now who have leaks in their cars, so I'm going to have them come over and wash out their engine bays. That way I can get in there and work on it without getting filthy. Something about using a pressure washer is always so fun anyways. I actually got some grease on my recycling bin a few days ago, and I keep forgetting about it when I open the lid. I always get it on my hand, so I'm going to take use of this opportunity to wash that off as well. I'm just going to go ahead and wash the whole can off real quick here. This is that widest, softest tip, and it just got that grease off there, no problem. These trays that sit in the back of my truck also get really greasy as well, and that aluminum just holds onto that grease and turns your fingers black. So I'm going to use this soap on here to wash that up as well. And it's nice that I have something strong enough to wash the big truck instead of having to get out a chair or something and climb up on it to wash off the side. This pressure washer does an excellent job. Not only is it going to be my go-to car wash machine, but I'm going to use it for tons of stuff too. I've got oil drips on the driveway. Some of these aren't even from me, but I'm just going to go ahead and clean all those off. I'm using that soft tip on this because I don't want to strip it all the way down, but I do want to get some of that dirt and grease off the top. In fact, when I worked on that bus a couple of years ago, this has been stuck on the driveway ever since then. It was some Bondo, and I haven't been able to get it off with anything, but this pressure washer got it off no problem. So when we're done, all you got to do is pull on that hose and it'll wind itself back up, and you don't have to worry about getting the hose all twisted up. This will do it great. So you just put everything right here, pick it up like I said, and you can go store it. So that's super safe for me, especially since I don't have a big shop or anything where my tools are safe inside. I can put this in my big truck or somewhere else and lock it up when I'm not using it. Overall, if I had to buy another pressure washer, hands down, I would get this one in a heartbeat. I've used plenty of other pressure washers growing up, and this one's no more expensive than any other normal pressure washer, but I love everything about it way more. And Giraffe Tools is giving us a special discount. Check out the link in the description to get your own. So by the end of the summer, hopefully we get this Jeep running. I know it's already looking great. I'm expecting to put a few days worth of work into it. Like I mentioned, it doesn't have brakes, it's gonna need new tires. The front wheel drive shaft is missing, and I've never even tried to turn the motor over, but supposedly it's good. So make sure you subscribe if you want to keep up with the project, and you'll see it on the channel over the next couple of weeks. Thanks for all the support, and special thanks to Giraffe Tools for making this project possible. I'll see you on the next episode of Roadside Rescue.